Welcome back. So, as the heat continues to be, well, hot. Not as hot today as yesterday, though, which is nice. And for people who are saying, oh, see, that's not real heat. Remember, when we go down to Vegas in December, we were down there a few Decembers ago, everybody down there was wearing jackets, talking about how cold it was. They had heaters on. Wife and I are down there wearing t-shirts and shorts. We're like, this is fantastic. This is great. So nice and warm out here. Sunglasses and shorts and everything else. It's so cold. That's beautiful. So yeah, that's what happened, and I'm looking forward to that again this year. Remember last time we left here, it was all rainy and there was like hail and freezing rain, and they were gonna get some snow, and it's like, oh, we're going to Vegas where there's no chance of anything like that, and it's like 15 degrees Celsius. So bye. So yeah, looking forward to that this year. So second news of the day video also. In this box here is a couple of AHL jerseys that I've just had arrive today that will get added to the collection and maybe to the countdown as well. I did have an actual cutoff for the countdown, but I'm thinking about just taking it and going, if I have it, then it'll go in the countdown. So we'll see. But of course, if you follow me on Instagram, you know I'll post pictures of the jerseys when I get them unboxed. I do that every time. So it was a $5,000 fine for Barzal. As expected. I was just surprised they took so long to announce it. Maybe they fined him and then forgot to post the tweet about it. But yeah, $5,000 fine, no suspension, and you move along. Lou Lamoriello was also named GM of the Year this year. That is the second year running. I understand not everybody likes the decisions he's made contract-wise, but the fact that the Islanders are this close to a Stanley Cup in back-to-back years says a lot about his intelligence. And yes, Barry Trotz has a large role in that as well. Who hired Barry Trotz? Lou Lamoriello. So there's definitely some smart moves that have been made. I will do a Lou Lamoriello video once the playoffs are done. Might do some other GM videos as well. I used to do GM videos a lot, and kind of got away from they take a long time to set up, and yeah, they're fun to do, but they take a long time to set up, and they're usually very long videos as well. The Canucks made news today in that the Sedins has been hired. They've been hired as assistants to the general manager, and that's how they phrased it. And I'm like, okay, so they are Dwight Schrute. Let me get this straight. There are two Dwight Schrutes in the Canucks organization, which would make Jim Benning Michael Scott. They're assistants to the general manager. I'm just the wording of it to me. I was like, they know what they're doing, right? Their social media team have to know what they're doing by saying they're the assistants to the general manager, not assistant general managers. Assistants to the general, like, it's just, all right. Anyways, yeah, so let me know what you guys think about that. I've talked about the whole Sedins thing before. I think it's fine. I think as potential outreach in the community, it is something to try to bridge that gap between management and the fan base. I get it. And, if you train them up so they can someday have one of them as the head scout and one of them as the new GM, I'm fine with that as well. So I think it's only good news to have the Sedins in some sort of a role back with the Vancouver Canucks. This was announced today. Rene Robert had a heart attack last week in Florida. His family wasn't talking to the press about it. They wanted privacy. I haven't mentioned it in any of the News of the Day videos. Sadly, he has passed away. That was announced today, that he had passed away by the Sabres and by the NHL as well. He is known for being 1/3 of the French Connection line, and it is a shame. Now, when I started watching hockey, Rene Robert's career was winding down. Actually, when I started watching, he was in Toronto. So he started his career at the Sabres. He then played with the Rockies. He then played with the Maple Leafs. So, yeah, him being traded to the Colorado Rockies, I mean, I guess there's crueler things you could do, but I'm kind of having a hard time imagining what that would be. So, yeah, and then he finished out with the Harold Ballard Maple Leafs. So it's too bad. And there will be a career video at some point on Rene Robert. I always leave about a 6-week period in between when a player is passed on before I do a video covering their career. But that will happen at some point soon. But my condolences to family and friends of Rene Robert, who played 744 games and scored 702 points. So he was a good producer, absolutely a good producer, short career, relatively speaking, and again, I'll do a career video at some point. Also, the NHL's announced that Wes McCauley is not calling any games right now. He's home. Sounds like it's personal, that there's no injury involved, so it sounds like it's something going on in his personal life that's preventing him from being in the NHL right now. And he may miss the Stanley Cup final as well. The interesting thing is we've been talking about referees right, left, and center. I have never had a problem with a Wes McCauley game. Odd calls here and there, maybe, but in terms of how he calls the game, I've never had a problem with a Wes McCauley game. So it's really it's a shame he's out, and hopefully he's back and good to go for the Stanley Cup final, because I really do think that if we rated referees, if I had some kind of a poll on the channel, I think McCauley would probably be voted as the best referee in the league. So hopefully everything's okay for him, and that he's able to come back and start calling games as soon as possible. And just for the way he enunciates the penalties and the goals and the reviews, and just everything's fantastic. It's awesome to hear him call a game. When I was in Las Vegas, he called one of the 2 games I saw while I was down there, and it was great. It was fantastic, and he's, yeah, great guy. And Canada made some news today in that they legalized single game betting, which frees up a lot of betting opportunities. So it was, instead of single game, you had to bet on all of them, and you had all these other bets, and it really, it's not worth it. The last time I tried doing sports betting here locally, I was like, there's no way I can win on this. And that was part of it, was, it's sort of like the difference between Keno and Lotto. I like playing Keno every now and then because I have a better chance of winning on it than I do on the lottery. Sure, I'm only playing 2 numbers. Sure, I'm only going to win a couple of bucks, but at least I win something rather than just throwing my money away. So single game betting probably is going to open some things up, and that should be beneficial to those that are looking for other ways to gamble, as well as for corporations that are looking to capitalize on that. So we'll see how that changes some things, but yeah, so there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. And the Sedins being hired as assistant to the general manager, I do wonder if they got Dundies for that. Of course I have a Dundee Award. Why don't you have a Dundee Award just sitting right off your camera? Everybody has a camera, right? So of course I have a Dundee just off camera. Why wouldn't I have a Dundee? So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. The channel did pass 199,000 subscribers today, which is ridiculous. Thank you guys so much. It's so close to 200,000. Thank you, each and every one of you that have created accounts and subscribe to the channel, whether you created those accounts a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, a decade ago. To each and every subscriber, thank you so much for all your support. And if you haven't already hit subscribe, I suggest that you do so. But hey, got to get back and watch the rest of the Montreal-Vegas game, which has been fascinating so far. Absolutely fascinating. And so far, fingers crossed, it's actually free of controversy thus far. So here's to hope, and it stays that way, right? All right, we can all hope. I'll talk to you guys again soon.